I told you we're dominating. Remember a few weeks ago when we were going over certain documents where Volante, actually it was a few documents. We went over one from Volante. We went over from another one from Ripple directly, where they were just touting the fact that they can do settlements anywhere, anytime, interbank payment settlements, massive settlements. You can even break them into pieces. But the point was 24/7, 365, we can do it. It never shuts down. It never stops. And the technology's only getting better. Remember, they bragged on that. Now, did you see this post from the Bank of International Settlements? Do you understand how much we're winning? Let me read this little tidbit to you. By the way, click that like button right now. We're winning. It says here, the BIS Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures will help central banks to exchange information and experiences on how to extend real-time gross settlement system operating hours. Now, we also covered a document about 2 weeks ago where we were going over the FedNow system, which we read that a lot of banks don't want to use FedNow. One of the reasons, and they were highlighting this, well, you can start using the FedNow system at 6 a.m. in the morning, but everything has to be done by 6 p.m. This little tiny window, they're keeping it that way. Who wants to use a system like that? So now you have that and the reasoning why a lot of banks don't want to use FedNow, although they probably will because they're going to get bullied into doing that. But we'll see how that works out. But then we have this where they're trying to figure out how to extend operating hours, which tells you they know that no one's happy with those systems. No one's happy with those limited systems. Guess who's not limited? XRP, guess who's not limited? XLM, we're winning, folks. We have something, I told you, we have something they don't have, they need, they want it, and they haven't caught us yet. This is why I always say, watch for the blockchains that are innovating, the DLTs that are innovating. We have to stay ahead of them, the legacy system. If we stay ahead of them, then they will always need us. They will hand that money over. They're going to get tired of competing. They're not competitors. They're typically they like to have technologies handed to them. They don't really want to compete. It's just this time there's so much money on the table. They're trying, but they're still behind. You see, Swift can't tie our shoes, right? So now they're forced to consider integrating with us and using the new financial system also to enhance themselves in the future. What they offer is absolutely terrible. So put Swift to the side, right? So then now you have the central bank systems and all these different legacy infrastructures, the commercial banks, the private banks and such. And now you're seeing they can't compete with us either. They can't tie our shoes. They can't hold our blazers. We're dominating. Let's make sure that that continues, right? That's what I'm looking at here. This is a huge admission. Sorry about that. But let me read this little tidbit here at what it actually says. Operational and technical considerations for extending and aligning payment system operating hours for cross-border payments, which we do with ease. This is nothing for us. 24 hours a day, anywhere, any currency, anytime, no pre-funding. That's what we do. We're far superior to them. Now you understand why we're dominating the way that we do, why we have hundreds of banks signed up, why it's so easy to close deals. Wait until we have regulatory clarity. Watch what happens. We're going to go on a massive rampage. Stellar, Ripple, Algorand. I feel it in my bones. There's no guarantees, but I feel it. I can see it coming. It says here, an extension and alignment of payment system operating hours across jurisdictions could help to speed up cross-border payments. So they can't do it now. They're admitting they're weak. They're admitting they can't do what we can do. They're telling you. They're telling you they have an inferior system. Let me read that piece one more time. Extension and alignment of payment system operating hours across jurisdictions could help to speed up cross-border payments. They can't do it right now. Across jurisdictions, we have none. We can operate anywhere at any time. Anybody can send money from big businesses to people. We are the future. We are the bridge. Especially between jurisdictions with significant time zone differences. Is that so? For us, it doesn't matter. Heck, we're one step away from being able to hop into a DeLorean at this point and send money back to the past. I'm joking. But that's how advanced we are. I'm just joking to make a point, right? Oh man, it says it could also improve liquidity management. Is that so? Liquidity management. You know, we can manage liquidity across, listen, we can manage liquidity anywhere across multiple jurisdictions across the world, all simultaneously, all instantly, and provide liquidity without locking up funds and capital. As a matter of fact, I had a post here from Ripple. I don't know if I still have it. As a matter of fact, I do. It's right here. And I wanted to get to this later. This is what Ripple said. You think that this is a coincidence? They just released this post. The BIS releases this about liquidity. Then Ripple releases this. And it says here, last year, we announced the addition of hashtag machine learning capabilities into our payment solutions to provide a superior experience for our customers. Did you watch this video? You understand what machine learning does. It manages liquidity and makes sure it allocates, if necessary, to reallocate proper liquidity to wherever it needs to go, like that, automatically. That's what the video says. This individual here, Devraj Varadhan, explains it beautifully. All right. You can go right to Ripple's Twitter and watch this video. You think it's a coincidence that they're both releasing this type of information around the same time? There is no coincidence, folks. Ripple's letting it be known. We're the one. We're chosen. Everything that they're saying they can't do in this BIS document, Ripple can do. It has released multiple posts over the last week or two to address such things and say that they can and show you why they can and what mechanisms exist, showing you that we can run the entirety of the financial system. Really, we don't need the central banks. I told you that for quite some time. We don't need them. They need us. That's the beauty of this. The beauty. Let's continue on here. They're just admitting everything. To central banks and operators or real-time gross settlement. That's hilarious because it really is not real time. You have to have certain things done before 6 p.m. or there's going to be a problem. There could be delays, and there's oftentimes delays. But let's continue on here. Real-time gross settlement systems could consider 3 options or end states for extending and aligning operating hours. We already know what it's going to be. You're going to congeal. You already have. You're all working with Ripple and Stellar and Algorand. Come on now. It's not a secret to us, but I get it. The mainstream masses don't know about it. So you're trying to keep them out of the loop. I get it, right? It says here, these options range from an incremental increase in operating hours on current operating days, an extension to include current non-operating operating days, and an expansion to full 24-hour and 7-day-a-week operations. And how are you going to do that? By using us, most likely, right? This technical report presents a systemic 3-step approach to building on the CPMI report, extending and aligning payment system operating hours for cross-border payments. It proposes an analytical framework for central banks and RTGS system operators to help determine the most appropriate approach to extending operating hours. Listen, we're going to dominate. This is over. It's over. It's all but done. We're running the new financial system everywhere. I think it's the only system that will operate in the future. These banks will go away. They're not necessary. They know it already. That's why they're looking into DeFi, how to get deep into DeFi, how to decentralize themselves. I read a document about central banks. I don't know how that will work, but central banks in the future decentralizing themselves. I'm not sure what they're talking about with that. I'll look a little deeper into that, but my word, I mean, that system, that legacy system is imploding. How do they continue to exist? They have a war going on between them with the small banks. You've been keeping up with that? The small banks feel like the central banks could step on their toes anytime they want. Because guess what? When the CBDCs roll out, the central banks now could, if they wanted to, deal with customers directly and quite easily, I might add. They don't need intermediaries anymore. They don't really need the commercial banks anymore. They don't, because of private wallets and direct issuance of CBDC and control through AI, machine learning, all these other mechanisms, automated market makers. I mean, all of these different ways. They don't need the commercial banks. So now the commercial banks have been running scared. They've been really concerned. But here's the thing. A lot of commercial banks have gotten on board with the new financial system. But there's a little bit of banks. We covered an article recently, so this is factual. There's a small amount of banks that are going against the new financial system. I mean, they're coming against it. They're trying to get laws passed against us. When all the while, it's not us you have to worry about. the central banks, but they fear the central banks. They fear them. Listen, small banks, you don't need to go to war with us. You're not going to win anyway, by the way. You're not going to win that. Listen, just reach out to Stellar, Ripple, Algorand, and have our systems implemented. Especially on Stellar, you'll be in control. Yes, you're going to hand that money over to us. Yes, you're definitely going to do that. That money's going to flow through the systems. It's going to make the prices explode, possibly the crypto prices explode, no problem. But with instant settlement, near instant finality, that's not your concern. Your concern is not losing any value, right? With instant finality and instant settlement, you don't have to worry about losing value. That's what your concern is. So you have no risk whatsoever when you're working with the bank coins, who the central banks are already working with. We're going to take so many trillions on trillions. We continue to talk about the biggest wealth transfer coming. Every day they're emitting a little bit more. Let's continue on. I don't want to just continue. I don't want to just put my thoughts out there. I want to actually read you this material here, right? So then you also see the confusion. Look at this. They released this here on the FSB, the FinSTB board, and it says attempting to replicate some functions of traditional finance, decentralized finance, repeats and even amplifies the vulnerabilities of that system. Is that so? I don't remember DeFi having many problems. DeFi is, first of all, DeFi is in its infancy and has been doing great. Second of all, DeFi, we know you fear it because it renders you useless. Number three, DeFi is always getting better. DeFi is the future, 100%. People are not going to want to utilize banks. They're not going to trust banks, especially the first time banks do the bail-ins. They actually use those bail-ins. It's over for them. It's over for them. You're not going to take people's children's college money. You're not going to take their retirement money. You're not going to be taking their mortgage payments, and then they're going to be comfortable with you and continue to use you. Absolutely not. I'm waiting for you to cross that line. Go ahead and do it to yourself. I'm waiting for you to cross that line. And when they do that, the people are going to look for an alternative. By that time, maybe we have regulatory clarity. By that time, maybe we have defeated the SEC in court. And they're going to turn to the bank coin. I promise you. All it takes is a little bit of advertising to say, hey, the banks bailed you in. Now it's our turn to help you out. Perfect advertising. It's going to be easy. Then the people will be downloading Ripple, Stellar, and Algorand wallets by the hundreds of thousands. They will not want their money taken. They will custody their own money. Just like when in times of crisis, people do what? They start taking cash out. When times get tough and you see that the enemy is on the horizon, there's bank runs going on, whatever. People start pulling out cash. Yep, and they keep it in their wallet, keep it at home, they keep it in safes, they keep it in shoe boxes. But they don't have the fear of self-custody, and then do they? Nope, and they won't have it when the time comes, and then they get bailed in and their money gets snatched from them. People are holding massive amounts of money in these banks. I don't think that that's wise, but they do. And they're going to keep that same amount of money in crypto wallets, bank coin wallets, I believe. And that money will flow through probably in the future gold-backed stable coins, because they will lose all trust in the system at that point. The system already has been abusing the people. Just my humble opinion, But it's a beautiful setup for what is to come. So they have this entire paper where they're talking rather negatively about DeFi. All the while, they're trying to study DeFi. They want to implement their own versions of decentralized finance. They want to take parts of DeFi and use it for themselves. You know, automated market makers, all these different things, stable coins and such, and use it for themselves. So you want to use a system that you yourself, on one side of your mouth, you say it's good, you show it's good. And on the other side of your mouth, you say it's bad. What confusion. So someone actually below this post, you scroll down, you see this individual here, Benjamin Whitby says, and good retort, he says, and yet DeFi with its amplified positions and transparency operated as expected without market fire breaks or intervention. Good point. Then another person here, John Husay, says, this is misleading. Even with, to the original post, right? This is misleading, even with numerous drawdown, etc. DeFi still operating and no bailouts needed. Good point. You see? Oh my word. We have the absolute best people, not just in the Bankcoin family, but in crypto. We have the best people on the planet. Yeah. All right. So now let's move on here to another article. We are just winning. I'm feeling good. Feeling really, really good. I have this document up here, but we don't really need to go too deeply into it. It says here, the report, this is from the fsb.org. The report, which was delivered to the February G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting, concludes that while the processes to provide services are in many cases novel, DeFi does not differ substantially from the traditional finance, in the functions it performs or the vulnerabilities to which it is exposed. The significant part of DeFi, the substantial essence of DeFi, is the fact that it's decentralized and you're not in control of it. That says what's important. And once again, it continues to advance and become better. It puts the power in the people's hands. No matter how much you want to make it seem illusory, the people want the power in their hands and they deserve it. Do they have to be subject to you forever? That's how you feel? Well, that tells them a lot about what you think about them, right? That you operate in a way, the traditional financial system operates in many different ways, like a parasitic entity. Just my humble opinion, right? So the people want something different and the times are changing. It says to the extent to which these vulnerabilities can lead to financial stability concerns largely depends on the interlinkages and transmission channels between DeFi. They're trying to manifest some sort of negativity with DeFi, like just keep talking about it until it actually happens, generate this type of mental energy. You know, a lot of groups around the world believe in that, right? Manifesting a certain energy. They come together as a group. They try to say they all think the same thoughts, feel the same things, and then try to give rise to entities and such like that and powers. And I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not saying that I believe in such a thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is what the people try to do. And they try to manifest egregors and such, and, you know, these thought form beings and such. Like, you know, you look it up for yourself. But a lot of these entities, these individuals, they believe in things like that. They try that. So they try to put those thoughts out there. And it's not just, and I say that because it's not just them trying to manifest thought form beings and put energies out there and manifest egregors and such like that. But no, but they try to get the others to think the same, put your energy forth. So if they plant that thought in your head, they feel like now you have the potential to put that energy out also, which lends to the more rapid creation of such an energy and manifestation of such. Hey, that's not going to work here, but they can try. Oh, we're winning. Based on these findings, the FSB will carry out additional work to analyze the growth and implications of tokenization of assets. Okay, so obviously you're going to say it's negative all the while you're looking for all the positives that you could exploit. Let's move on to another article here. Okay. And how's everybody doing out there? You doing well? I hope you are. I hope you're all doing well. All the best to you. Okay. Now, a little bit of stellar news. Stellar. I like what you're doing. Oh my word. You're going real hard, working real hard. Keep doing good. Keep doing good. I see what you're doing. This is a little post from Stellar. It says, great week meeting old and new friends. Let me pause there. This is business. You think that that word friend really means like, oh, we're hanging out, we're buddies. No, they're talking about business partners, old and new, making new business. That's what they mean by friends. They're just using rather peculiar wording to kind of throw people off. But these people aren't exactly playing patty cake and meeting up to play NBA 2K. They're not playing the new Tekken, which I thought was I thought that trailer was great, by the way, the new Tekken. A lot of people hating on that because Nina had pistols and so. Look, it's a new age. I wouldn't want the same game from 1998 till now. Let them do something new. But anyway, yeah, they're not exactly meeting up to play the new Tekken demo, right? No, talking about business partners. This is good. So they went to eblockchain.com and says old and new friends, which means they brought in some new business partners, at least people to sit down with. At least people that will be having meetings with them. If this went well and he's considering this some type of relationship, then that means there could be new meetings happening. That means new businesses using Stellar, people. Who are those businesses? Maybe they're small, maybe they're medium, maybe they're banks. Who knows? The potential is there and he's showing himself sitting down with some of these people here on a panel. Listen, keep doing a good job, Stellar. Keeping an eye on you, but you're doing good so far. Let's go to this next tweet here. This is another one from Stellar. It says, we're excited to partner with DFS Lab to launch SCF Startup Camp, a 5-day virtual boot camp to accelerate Stellar and Soroban projects from idea to user tested prototype. Do you understand why they're doing this? Why you tell me why they're speeding everything up? All these CBDCs getting released lately. They're releasing CBDC pilots in Russia, CBDC pilot in India. They're talking about the digital pound in the UK. Everywhere, all at the same time, right? And Stellar is saying to themselves, in my humble opinion, hey, we need to speed this up because we want to be at the crux of everything when it comes to retail. We want all the regular people's money flowing through Stellar. That's what they're saying to themselves. They're saying we want all the people to use smart contracts on Stellar. Let's speed this up. Let's make sure we're the best. That's what they're doing. And why? To make sure that they're at the forefront, bringing in all the partnerships, bringing in all the banks, the businesses, bringing in all the people. Stellar is fired up right now. Look at how many panels they've been on lately and announced that they're going to be on. Look how much they're trying to develop Soroban. Stellar has been on a rampage, and I like it. I like it a lot. Right? Keep it up, Stellar. I like what I'm seeing. This fiery, new, hungry Stellar of 2023. Give me some more. And on top of that, keep in mind, this is in addition to they're going all in and all out in the Ukraine, helping them to develop everything when it comes to digital assets and their CBDC systems and the tokenization of everything. Stellar is going all out over there. They're doing a great job. I'll leave it at that. Let's move on to another article here. But I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. Very happy, especially as we're coming, it seems, very close to the rollout of the new financial system. They can't hold it back anymore. It seems like that. They can't hold it back anymore. Now, Algorand. Let's talk about the champ, Algorand. One of the best blockchains to ever exist, Algorand. I'm not hyping them up. I'm telling you what I feel, what I see. A company I watched come up since the bottom to the top. And I love it. It is what it is. Hey. Here's a tweet from Algorand, a series of tweets. It says, can you imagine sending a transaction, your hard-earned money, of course, and seeing it being rolled back sometime later? No, I can't imagine that, Algorand. Talk to me. Where's this happening? Man, if I send a transaction, I send some capital, it better go through. That's insane. But anyway, let's see what they're talking about. It says this type of failed TXN is normal for many blockchains. Which ones? I don't use them. Holy smokes, I'm in the bank coins, baby. So it says this is normal for many blockchains, but not at Algorand, because we have instant finality. I'm telling you, you see, instant finality, instant settlement, instant liquidity, all these different things. This is why the bank coins are loved. They don't have the problems other blockchains do. This is why the banks and governments are snapping them up, right? How deep is Algorand in Italy right now? Around the world, they're doing a great job, by the way. Well, let's continue on here. Then number 2 tweet says, first, let's illustrate what happens when a chain doesn't have instant finality. Oh, they're pushing you. They're letting you know we're number one. We're one of the best. We're at the top. That's why we make the big money. That's why we move the big monies. Yeah. It says in many blockchains, forking or splitting the chain is a possibility, meaning that TXNs can't be considered final until a certain amount of blocks are processed. When many blocks have been processed, the likelihood of the TXN being on an orphan chain, I could just say transaction, but I'm not going to do that. TXN being on an orphan chain is practically zero. I got to have a little bit of fun. These so-called short forks are an unwelcome source of uncertainty and delay when you are moving around assets of value like a rent check. a rent check. See how they went right there? Because the payroll, rent, everything's going to be flowing across Algorand. They're going to do it all. They can do it all. They're letting you know. Are the people going to hear them? I don't know. I know I do. I see what's happening. I see all the partnerships. Let's go. It says another way to look at it, on most other chains, if someone makes a payment to you, even if it appears in the latest block added to the chain, you still can't immediately consider yourself paid. What? Whoa, I did not know that. But like I said, I don't use those other chains. Don't get me wrong. I've traded a few utility coins, not any bank coins. The bank coins I don't play with. And outside of the bank coins and let's say a few utility coins like VeChain, Polygon, Batcoin, GRT, I really don't mess with crypto at all. If they're outside of that utility circle, utility circles like here and then the inner circle is the bank coins for me. So I wouldn't know how it is to use those other things, but that's insane that people are actually going through that and satisfied with that. I don't settle for less. I want the best. Don't settle for less. Require the best. All right. And it says here, dApps must take this gap in settlement time into account to avoid compounding issues. In a case a transaction does end up failing to process, this scenario is known as probabilistic finality. Probabilistic finality is a significant problem which dApps on many chains must meet with complex transaction orchestration on the back end. In addition, the delay in finality impacts the actual throughput of these protocol. So back to Algorand, where we don't have forking, right? Block reorgs transactions are final as soon as they are confirmed in a block, aka instant finality. This means that Algorand's throughput of 6,000 transactions per second actually means 6,000 real finalized transactions per second. Algorand is the real. They're real. I mean, man, what more can you say? No games. Oh, they're talking some spicy. That's some spicy talk. I like it. No games. You get what you see. This is known as instant finality. There you have it. Algorand roars and lets everyone know why they're the best. And you know what? I agree. All the bank coins are the best. Let's move on here. We have a little bit more news to get through. All right. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I appreciate every single one of you. I do. LCX continues to make noise. And here's the tweet from LCX. Tokenized bonds are ownership representations in the form of cryptocurrency tokens on a blockchain, which terms controlled by smart contracts. LCX continues to push their tokenized bonds. They're fully regulated. Their yields, you can get some good yields with on LCX exchange. They're trying to become a bank. They're beloved by the World Economic Forum. Holy smokes, they're working with Quant. They're working with Polygon. LCX is moving ahead like the juggernaut that it's supposed to be. All the potentiality in the world, just my humble opinion. Keep in mind, I'm just sharing my opinion. This is not to get you fired up for any of these tokens or coins. It doesn't matter if you held zero, it wouldn't matter. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It doesn't matter to me if you buy some, sell some. You could sell all of everything and it wouldn't matter to me at all. I want to make that clear. All right. So let's just get that out of the way. So when I share my excitement, it's just that I'm just excited. Simple as that. All right. All right. Let's move to this next tweet here because LCX is on fire. It says earn 7% on your euro. I like it. Euro with LCX's authorized bond offering. To invest, you need to have a verified account on LCX.com. Invest at least 1,000 euro. There you have it. Once again, LCX is coming in and saying, hey, you want to make some money the safe way? Fully regulated? You're not going to get any problems? Come to LCX. That's where you need to go. Not those other exchanges. LCX, the dominant exchange of the future, fully regulated, dominant exchange of the future. Hey, possible bank also. Hey, LCX, we need an update on those forms. You had 2 out of the 3 done. It was 3 criteria you needed. You had 2 out of the 3 done. What's going on with that last criteria you had to fill? Is it done? Is it in process? I know there's a waiting period. I'll be patient. All right. Hopefully everything goes well and you do become a bank. That's going to be huge. But let's continue on here. Right. So then we have a little bit of XDC. Yeah, we can't leave XDC out. Oh man. It says here, this was retweeted by XDC, and this is built on XDC. Plugin. It says, "Dear members, we are glad to announce that Plugin smart contract has been successfully audited by @30K, a pioneer in the blockchain industry." So now they're making it even easier to use the insanely advanced smart contracts on XDC. Now you can just plug them in. You don't have to do all the other work you used to do. Nope, now you just plug it in, and it's been audited, so it's safe, it's completely compliant. It is extremely advanced. They provide nothing but the absolute best on XDC as far as what I know. Do your own research, but as far as what I know, they're the absolute best when it comes to smart contracts. XDC, Algorand, and Hedera, they are just, there's no one above them right now. This I like to see. This advertisement here is amazing. I love how this looks. A handshake with this nice little symbol here. XDC continues to absolutely just steam forward, running everything over at a lightning speed, lightning pace, and just completely unstoppable. They have it. Look at the short time they've been around and what they've done. All the trade finance organizations they're a part of and able to work with and shake hands with, all the governments that they've met with in this short time. Look at all the banks they have a connection with in this short time. They haven't been around as long as Ripple, as long as Stellar, as long as Algorand, and yet XDC, Zenfin has become so dominant in such a short time. What do you think is going to happen into the future? Their dominance in this little period of time should tell you how bright that future is going to be. Hey, just my humble opinion, not financial advice. All right. So then we have a little bit of layoff news. I'm trying to get through this stuff a little quickly here today. All right. While not lowering the quality, I'm trying to get through it quickly. I have a ton of articles here. This is on coinedition.com and it's titled "More Crypto Firms Threatened with Layoffs and Bankruptcies." It's not just crypto firms, by the way. I understand though, Coin Edition, the key information you cover is crypto, but there's layoffs going on everywhere. It's mind blowing. I feel bad for the people. I hope they have some other way, like some other work they have lined up or they can go to. But it's happening in every industry right now. So the challenge around stablecoin started in 2022. It's extending its influence into 2023. The consequences of this development are whipping up more bankruptcies. Wait, what? With several companies subscribing to drastic adjustments that could lead to massive layoffs. What's that have to do with stablecoins? Okay, they're going to elaborate here. Sorry, my apologies. I'm jumping out the window. I'm jumping ahead too quickly. The crash of Terra USD in the spring of 2022 exposed several malpractices in the crypto industry, revealing how intertwined most stakeholders have become. It initiated a ripple effect that is still unfolding with increasing casualties. Many of the biggest crypto lenders in the sector have gone underground due to a loss of confidence. One of the crypto companies that have kickstarted an adjustment program is blockchain.com, which announced plans to lay off 28% of its workforce. That is equivalent to 110 employees after the company fired 150 workers last summer. Like I said, a lot of companies are going in for like third and fourth round layoffs at this point. Massive companies, massive. Amazon, Facebook, right? Did Tesla lay some people off also? I mean, but they're not the only ones. There's been a ton of layoffs everywhere. So it's not just crypto. It is not just because of the woes that crypto has been experiencing. No, it's also because of tough economy and rising interest rates, things like that. And it's going to probably continue because they're going to have to raise interest rates a little bit more, in my humble opinion. But we will see, right? So I'm just going to leave that there. More layoffs are happening is the point of that particular article. Crypto.com, like Coinbase, plans to cut its staff strength by 20%, so to speak, right? So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.